The 1967 Italian Grand Prix is considered to be Jim Clark's greatest performance. Although Jim didn't win the race, he led 12 laps until suffering a puncture and losing an entire lap. Now this would be race over for most drivers, but not for Jim Clark. For the next 48 laps, Jimmy worked his way up from a lap down to taking the lead on lap 60. But tragically, low fuel on Jim Clark's Lotus 49 allowed Surtees to pass him just before the line. Today we're going to attempt to beat Jim's fastest lap, a 128.5. This is the Lotus Type 49, the same car Jim Clark drove in the 1967 Italian Grand Prix, powered by a Ford Cosworth DFV making over 400 brake horsepower. Let's see if a small YouTuber can beat one of the best to ever do it. As always, make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy this type of content. Let's get into it. So here we are in the Lotus Type 49, here at Monza, getting ready to try and beat Jim Clark's time. Now this car is going to be an absolute hassle to drive with 400 horsepower on these tires, which you might be thinking, wow, that's a pretty thick tire, but that doesn't matter because they're pretty much pencil erasers in terms of grip. And the rest of the car is just a metal bathtub with absolutely zero aerodynamics. In this time, cars were completely designed for nothing but straight line speed, with the only thing in mind for cornering, which would be just the fact that the car weighed pretty much nothing. I think this weighs 600 kilograms or something like that. So we're going to get going here in the pit lane. Let's just hear it rev up a little bit. Absolutely amazing sound from the Lotus 49. Absolutely beautiful car. I love seeing the suspension just right there in my face. Now, ignore the time at 8 minutes already. But here we go. Already up to 240 kilometers an hour. Coming down the straight. We only have 5 gears in this. I did slightly extend my gear ratios to give me a little bit more top speed, because that's what Monza's all about. Through turn 1. No chicanes here. This is 1967. I forget what year the chicanes were added in, but we were able to just go right through the first turn, just a little bit of braking through it, of course, and right away into Lesmo's 1. Ooh, gotta trail brake a lot on this thing, especially be very careful on the throttle out of these turns. Just gonna get off the throttle here for the second one. That's a little bit too late off the throttle. Gotta be careful with the grass. We get into the grass a little bit and it'll be race over for us. Under the bridge now. Going up to Ascari, which at this time also wasn't a chicane, just an extremely fast left-hand corner, which we are going to go a little wide on. You got to turn in a little bit more early there in order to make that. Let's not get drug into the grass here. It's pulling me in. I don't like that much. Oh, I braked a little late into the parabolica. Okay, very late into the parabolica. We still managed to get out of there. Be a little careful on the throttle out of here. Tires are dirty now. Dirty tires in this thing are no good at all. Coming down the main straight now. Let's see what this thing can do. I'm pretty sure I'm set to almost 300 kilometers an hour, which we should be able to do with absolutely no problem in this thing. Here we go. Climbing the 5th gear. 290. Ooh, it's going to do it. 300 kilometers an hour just there at the end, just before I had the brake. That is terrifying speeds in something like this. That must have been absolutely horrifying to go through that. Got speeds like that. Into Lesmo's 1 now. Locking up the brakes a little bit. Might have had to push my brake bias back just a tad there. I'm going to tap the brakes slightly in this number 2. To get a good run out of the exit. Let's not go into the wall there. This thing is an absolute hassle around the circuit. We have very little steering angle on this thing, so if we get even a little bit sideways, we'll be gone. Can't really see here. Coming into Ascari, the shadows definitely block you a lot on this track. More than you would think, especially since there's no real, those orange and white curves. Well, not orange, red and white curves to look off of visually. You sort of just gotta hope what you're aiming for isn't a shadow. which definitely makes this track a little more unique than some. Here we come again, down the main straight. We should be able to hit way more high. We should be able to hit way higher speeds now, with a lot better run out of the Parabolica. And our first actual lap here. Oh, get out of the grass! It's gonna be a 1:30.6, which is just about 2 seconds out from Jim Clark's time. Coming into turn 1 at, what was that, 303 kilometers an hour. Oh my gosh, what an absolute... As you can see, the cars were not built much for cornering at all at this time. Definitely just going in a straight line as quickly as possible, which is why you don't see many chicanes on these tracks. Older tracks at all, because the cars liked going fast. And a chicane does not allow for a fast straight line. Oof. Trying to get a good run out of there. Try to make up some time here. Coming through a Scari now. Well, not yet. Under the bridge now. Coca-Cola board. And very quick through a Scari. Just off the throttle a little bit. Just to get the car to turn in. And big on the exit there. Our performance delta goes up. Let's see if we can get below a 130 here. That would be great if we can. Oh, we're going to lock the brakes into the Parabolica a little bit. Down to third gear. Gotta be very careful on the throttle. This thing just wants to go around through the Parabolica. Beautiful through there. Great top speed. That was a pretty bad shift up the fifth there. And it's going to be a 1:29.985. That's going to put us about a second and a half from Jim Clark's time. Ooh, wide through there. Oh no. Oh no. Okay. And there's going to be our first spin right there. This thing is absolutely wild. That's a quick lesson there to not touch these curbs at all, though. As soon as you get up on one of those curbs, ooh, okay. As soon as you get up on one of those curbs, it's going to be game over for you. I just couldn't imagine actually driving something like this at these speeds. I mean, these men must have been absolutely horrified. But I doubt they actually were, because they loved what they were doing. But this would just be such a terrifying thing to do, even if you love doing it. I mean, you're in a metal bathtub, most likely not even wearing a seatbelt, because it was safer to fly out the car than be in the car if you crashed. That's a wild thing to think about. Hey, don't need a seatbelt, because you're better off if you just fly away from the wreckage instead of getting crushed inside this little metal sarcophagus with 4 very tiny tires, barely holding it to the ground, as the massive, or quite small at times, but massive engine behind you could just detonate at any moment. And the transmission as well, just not wanting to live either. Cars broke like hell at these times. Jim Clark had a certain driving style, though, that his parts on his cars would come back better than anyone else's. They would look brand new next to his teammates' cars. He was just that good at driving. And that's the guy I'm trying to beat on his lap here, which might not be easy. Especially with over a second and a half to find around here. Which with only, what, 8 corners? It is not going to be easy to find that time. We're going to have to minimize braking as much as possible and not go wide on a Scari like that there. Definitely going to have to stop talking for a second and lock in, maybe. What I'm very surprised by is that we don't have a wooden steering wheel here. I would have expected something like that in this car. But we do have a nice little wooden shift knob down there. That looks quite nice with the Lotus logo on it. I also love how primitive these gauges are. They remind me more of the gauges on an aircraft and not a car. You think something like this would have an altimeter, which is what some of these things look like with all the needles going through them. But revving up to 10,000 RPMs, you can only imagine what the engine looked like after these races. They most likely had to rebuild them after every single race. I mean, engines didn't just have the durability they do now. Although they kind of did. They were old engines were really good. Especially old Chevy V8s even from this time were absolutely amazing. And I gotta say, Ford has built an absolute engine on this thing. I think this is Ford's first engine in Formula 1. I think it's the first engine that Cosworth. DFV, I think it is. Which is an absolutely amazing engine. Absolutely famous in Formula 1 for obvious reasons. Still lives on today. It's a very popular engine. Because of its power and everything else that it's got. It's just an amazing engine. Oof. Sliding through the parabolic onto the exit. Doesn't look like we're going to improve around this time. I think I can definitely have some time in this turn 1 here. It's pretty tricky to keep the speed and not go wide. But I keep enough speed to still be fast around and through. Gonna brake just a little bit. Turn in and no! Don't get up on the curb there. Ooh, curve slowing me down a lot there. But we barely remain on the road. Coming into Lesbo's 1. Oh, it's gonna be a little bit too much speed. Into there, we're gonna go into the wall. But this is a video game, so it does not really matter at all. Honestly, I have an idea for the next lap. That wall looks pretty consistent, and I might have a little bit of a trick up my sleeve here. And here's my little trick I want to try here. I call this the Robert Kubica. It did not work as well as I thought it would. It slowed my car down a lot more. Let's try it through the second one here. Full pin. Little Ross Chastain action. That did not help me at all. I thought that would work much better. It's I am not Ross Chastain at Martinsville in 2022. Through the parabolica. A little bit. Oh, a little squirrely on the exit there. Oh, I'm giving it way too much gas. Way too much. Give this thing a little bit too much gas out of these turns and it can be game over. Not only are the tires not grippy at all, but this old surface. I mean, I've driven on back roads that haven't been paved in 20 years that are better than this. Foot slipped off the pedal there. My bad. We should have a great speed through this first turn, though. Could have been a lot better, but we have a lot of speed coming through there. Gonna have to brake a little bit earlier then through this first turn. Just hold it straight. Trail brake it in a bit. There we go. Come on. Good speed. Just gonna brake a tad right there through no Lesbos 2, and oh no. Oh. Yeah. Once your car is at a certain angle, especially in this thing, there's sort of no hope in trying to save it. Because, yeah, my max steering angle, I would have to really turn the wheel to get to. Yeah, a little J-turn, sort of. No, it's not a J-turn, that's just a 180. Okay, I'm going to give this a few more attempts, a few more laps without talking here. Just to see if I can get my lap time any closer. Oh no. Oh, that was a good lap too. That's a really tricky. These two Lesmos, these are tricky turns. Now and then. That's the Beatles song. Okay, guys. I know what needs to be said in order to achieve this lap time. And then Hefest got this run. Put the music on though. Good. No, no, no. Oh, my. Okay, so yeah, I was unable to beat Jim Clark's lap time. But hey, at least I tried. And, of course, off camera, I was able to get a 128.7. I did that a while back. I'm not sure how I managed to do that time. Way faster than this one I was able to get in the video. But maybe in the future I'll give this another attempt. As always, if you guys enjoyed, please make sure to like and subscribe. It helps me out a lot. We've hit 69 subscribers at this moment, which is absolutely awesome. So if you enjoyed, please make sure to like and subscribe. That's going to be it for today. See ya.